What's going on? Welcome to another episode. Hope y'all enjoyed that little intro. And get rid of all this stuff real quick. Make sure this is empty. Empty. Set that down. I don't see how some people can wear this for an entire video. Whew. Alright, let's go and get the show started. So, the reason I decided to do this video today, my daughter and I did a hike at the Appalachian Trail. We did a 22-mile section. 22 miles with an elevation gain of 4,593 feet. Trail is marked hard by alltrails.com. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, it's a really cool little app and website that you can do some scouting on the trails that you plan on checking out before you actually get there. Highly recommend it. Other than just my daughter, it was myself, my daughter, who is 9 years old. Her name is Kira. Then it was another lady that went with us. She had never gone. She asked, could she tag along? I said, sure, of course. And then it was a friend of mine's teenager. So we have 4 people, myself plus the 3 entourage. So to give you some background, I'm not going to say that I'm experienced. I'm just going to tell you that I'm not going to tell you that I'm highly skilled. I'll tell you that I'm highly experienced on the things not to do from prior experience. My 9-year-old daughter has been hiking, climbing, camping. Everything I do, my 9-year-old daughter does. So she has 9 years of experience, clearly, only 9. The other lady that went, we'll put her as somewhere above amateur level, and she's got skills, but she's still learning. This was her first try. And then the teenager that went, typical teenager, that's all I can say. She's done some summer camps. You know how teenagers are. So I discussed this because after the hiking of the Appalachian Trail, it really kind of gave me some insight, some thoughts. And again, that's what brings me to this. So everybody's got this mindset of bugging out, lone wolf, scouting, romanticized idea that when some catastrophe happens, whether it be something like Katrina, whether it be something that happened overseas like Ukraine, that you're going to gather your gear up, gather your trusty rifle. Again, let's make sure it's on safe or it's empty. Gather your bag, your rifle, your loadout kit. Just like in the video, you're going to hump it out. You've been training for this. You're ready. You've got the best gear. You got a good rifle. You got a Trigicon. You got white light. You got a quality sling. You're ready. You got your pack. We have radios. So we got comms. We have a precision rifle-ish. Precision-ish rifle. We're ready to go. We got a fully loaded down pack. You are ready. Question though. You meet up with some family members. You meet up with maybe an aunt or your next door neighbor. You meet up with people and now y'all are together and now you have you and your entourage. Yes, you're ready, but what about them? Now you have a group. Are they ready? And that's where the lessons came from. On the trail, one of the things that I found out very quickly was we were all at different levels. So the goal was, we got dropped off at Neal Gap. We're gonna hike 10 to 11 miles first day. And then we're going to stop off at Low Gap, camp out. Then we're gonna pick back up and hike another 10 to 11 miles on the second day. We're gonna pick up at Unicoi Gap. At a 2 miles per hour, our pace should have been 5 to 6 hours. Okay. So That should have been our pace. Unfortunately, the lady I told you about earlier, she was not accustomed to hiking this type of environment, the elevation gain. She just was not ready for it. And so she ended up having problems. That's where we started slowing down. The second problem we started having was, yes, you've trained to carry this pack, but your entourage has not trained. They are not prepared to carry a pack that heavy. This was a lesson learned. I had packed my gear and I knew that my pack weight was between 18 and 20 pounds. My daughter's pack weight was about 12 pounds, maybe even a little bit more. So I'm carrying my pack weight, my daughter has hers, this older lady. Now I'm carrying her pack weight, which was easily 30, 40 pounds. So on top of mine, now I'm carrying hers. And now we're also humping this up this steep terrain. Second thing was water procurement. Has everybody in your group, your entourage, have they been training? Have they understand how to procure water once they see water sources? Thankfully, again, this is where practice and rehearsal with my daughter really has helped. My daughter, thankfully, was a champ, and she was able to turn around and do these things with very minimum oversight. And I was extremely proud as a parent to be able to see her do this. Same thing with camping. My daughter was able to set up her campsite with no problems, set up and tear down her own campsite with just me checking to make sure she knew what she was doing. And again, that was nice. So some other lessons learned. When you are out with another group, you know, things that I had to ask and I didn't think about was, does these people know if they get lost? Do they know their basic land nav skills? Do you know north, east, south, west? Do you know how to orient yourself based upon the sun, based upon the time of the year and where the sun's position is in the sky, that you can give a very basic orientation? Those are good questions to ask, especially when you're a group that you're not really used to. Our first day, we did not get done like I was thinking we were going to. We only ended up doing 7 to 8 miles on the first day. I think it was actually 7 miles. We actually did on the first day, between 7 and 8. So we ended up having to double up our efforts on the second day. And that was a lot of factors that you have to look at. The lady was not used to traveling this with a heavy pack that she well overpacked. She was a little bit older, so she really wasn't, you know, used to this, and that's fine. That's where practice and experience comes in. My daughter was fine, but, you know, of course, I still have to help her because I'm the only one doing this. I did mention there was a teenager with us. Teenager was very proud of themselves. Hey, Mom, Dad, you won't believe this. I was going so slow, they had to keep up with me. I made sure to slow down so I didn't leave them. Cool. Good job. They didn't help out carrying anything. But they walked slow enough. So clearly they were not an asset. I don't know if they were a liability, they just wasn't an asset. They were just somebody there. These are the things that you got to think about when you are discussing the possibility of bugging out. These are people that you may come in contact with, your next door neighbor, your children who may or may not have practiced this with you, your wife who may or may not have practiced this with you. Do you practice this with them? This brings us back full circle to where we started at. Earlier, you see in the video, really cool video, by the way. I got my full pack on, I got all my kit. It's very romanticized. We're all gonna turn around and just live it like in the movies, and it's crazy, man. Well, here's the problem. The problem is that's the fallacy of bugging out. Before I go any further, what is a fallacy? A fallacy is an argument. What is our argument? Argument is, when things go south, I'm going to gather my gear and I am going to bug out of here, and I'm going to gather everything, and I got in a pack, and I'm getting out of here, and I'm getting somewhere safe. Cool. A fallacy is a bad argument, by the way. By bad argument, I mean, where are you planning on going to? Do you have a place planned for? Do you have something you've been training to go to? Do you have stores when you get there? Do you have supplies? Have you scouted the route out? Or are you just going to pack up and start walking? It's a bad argument because most people haven't tried giving this much consideration. Here in the state of Alabama, you can't travel more than 5 miles without stumbling into someone's backyard. Clearly there's no wilderness you're going to hike into and ride this thing out. What makes it bad is certain general features that characterize arguments of this type. Well, what is the general features? One, we're going to hike out into the wilderness, or we're going to get out of here so we can get away from a bad situation. Well, where do you plan on going? What is your plan when you get there? How much do you have for sustainment for yourself? Not just yourself, but your family, your friends, your mama, your daughter, daddy, your elderly father, your elderly grandparents. What is your plan? Contrary to popular belief, you can't be out there by yourself. Someone has to pull 360 security while you sleep. That's what makes this bad in the certain general features. Lastly, argument of this type can often be mistaken for good arguments. So how can I mistake this for a good argument? Well, a good argument is for an example, there's a fire. There's a forest fire, so I'm going to run and find me a better place to be. Well, clearly, that is a good argument. And that's how we're mistaken. People say we'll use the same thing. Natural disaster, so I pack up and I leave to go somewhere safe. Clearly, that is a good plan. The problem that we come down to is where are we going to go when we get there? What is our plans when we get there? Do we have food? Do we have money? Do we have ability to be self-supportive when we get to the location that we're trying to get to? So I am not going to tell you that bugging out is a bad idea. Clearly, I have several bags for hiking and whatever else you want to do, LARPing in your backyard to look cool. Clearly, I have those bags. A lot of these were just given to me, actually. I have this Marine Corps bag that I forgot the name of, that I still don't have the top to. It's an excellent bag. Probably carry more than I ever carry. I also have my micro chest rig. When with this, it works amazing, and we'll get back to that also. Also on the list, something smaller. This I actually did use on the Appalachian Trail. Right now it's packed up with more than 20 pounds, I think it was I said. Right now it's packed up with more than that. I can sustain myself for 3 days with this. I know that's the case because I've done it. I don't necessarily need the massive bag. So, good argument versus bad argument. Do I support the possibility of bugging out per se? I support the possibility of using a bag to get yourself from a bad place to a good place. That doesn't necessarily have to be a tactical bag. It could be something as simple as a regular hiking bag, just like this. This serves the exact same purpose as either of these two. This bag does the exact same thing as these. There is no difference. The purpose of these packs is to get yourself from where you are at to where you're wanting to be. They are to carry the amount of gear that will support you to get you from point A to point B. Nothing else. No more, no less. The folly of bugging out is that it is literally a fallacy. It is a myth, a misconception that has been compounded on by a romanticized idea. I'm not saying that there isn't truth there. As again, bad argument versus good argument. most basic argument is I want to get away from a bad situation, get to a good place. Okay, cool, I'm with you. Any one of these bags can support you to do that, by the way. All these bags, all three of these bags has only one purpose: to carry equipment, gear, and whatever necessities you feel necessary to sustain you while you travel from point A to point B. That being said, don't get lost in the fallacy of bugging out. Understand the realities of it. Understand the realities of what can happen when you're actually out in the field. Appreciate y'all watching. If y'all did like what you seen, like what you heard, I might try and do a few more of these videos. I actually do a lot more hiking and things like that than I actually do shooting here lately due to ammo shortage. So if you're interested in more topics like this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what your opinions are. All right, guys. See y'all later.